Greetings and salutations! Thanks for checking out the video. I hope it finds you doing well wherever you are in the world. I actually should be doing work right now for my job, but I don't feel like doing it, so I'm going to make a rambly video and put it up on YouTube for you. I hope you enjoy it. In this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of little tools that I like to use with SSH. And the reason why I'm posting this is because in my last video I showed myself using one of those tools, Sshn, and somebody asked what it was because I didn't get a chance to explain it in the video. I got distracted because a computer had gone to sleep and I had to go turn it on. So I figured now's a good time to do a video about this. I have mentioned this in videos several times in the past, so if you're a longtime viewer this might be familiar to you. We're going to talk about SSHN. We're also going to talk about another little tool that I use called SFTPN, and then we'll take a look at the SFTP tool itself, which is one of my very favorite Linux, Unix tools of all time. It is ancient, it is Linuxy, it is very neat indeed. First of all, let's take just a moment here and talk about SSH, what SSH is, if it's an unfamiliar concept to you and you just clicked on the video. SSH is secure shell. That's what that means. And it is a protocol that allows you to log into remote machines either on a local network or on the public internet. And all you need to make that possible is to know where an account is on a machine that is essentially broadcasting itself with the SSH server. Every Linux box that you sit down in front of has the SSH client on it. It's part of the system. However, if you want a machine to be accessible by other machines, you have to install and set up the SSH server. Each distribution of Linux handles it differently. For instance, in Debian and Ubuntu and anything based on Debian or Ubuntu, it usually means that you install a package called OpenSSH-server. And that will configure itself, and then it'll be up and running, and then you can put your own information in after that. In Manjaro and Arch Linux, it's already installed, but you need to get it up and running by modifying a configuration file. So be sure and check out your own stuff there. As far as setting it up itself to make it work, once you get it up and running, it involves a lot of networking. You have to get it through firewalls. You have to make sure that you can find it. There's all kinds of details that go into this. A long time ago, I posted a video with Jeremy O'Connell. We were doing this series called Mr. Desktop and Mr. Server, and we did a video about that. So I'm going to put it in the description. It's very long, but it is very detailed, and there's a lot of great information up on the internet about getting this going. So we're going to stop there. We're going to assume that you have SSH running and that you have access to accounts, and I'm also assuming that you have installed RSA keys, which allow you to just jump right into an account without providing a password. In other words, it's doing a key handshake so it knows it's you. On my local network, the way I have to log into my local machines is by IP address. And so normally what I would do, or what I would have to do, let's put it this way, I don't do this normally, but this is by the documentation how I would have to do this, is that I would have to type in the entire IP address for a machine that I wanted to get into. So I have to use static IP addresses on my network, which is really no big deal. I just set them up and everybody's got their own number, and that way I know how to get to it. So I am now logged into a machine called Studio here. All right. And I'm going to exit out of that machine. We're going to clear the screen. What I should be able to do by the documentation that comes with SSH and a lot of things you're going to read online, what I should be able to do is just go SSH and then Studio, which was the name of that machine, and it should work, but it doesn't. And the reason why is because there is no name server running on my local router. Most modern routers, especially those you get from your ISP, are not running name servers. They stopped doing that probably about 10 years ago. I don't know why. I wish I did. And also, there's no provision for setting up a name server on most of these routers. So you're forced to use IP addresses. Set a static IP on your machine so it has the same address every time. It makes it easy to find. If you did have a name server, then you could use DHCP, which would be dynamic IP addresses, which were issued to machines that appear on the network, and you'd never have to worry about it. Now, there is a way to set this up other than what I'm going to show you in a few moments, which is the tool that I use, and that is to edit the hosts file on just about every machine on your network. And let's take a look at that. We're going to use nano, and we're going to look at etc hosts right here. And we are now in the hosts file for this local machine, and we're only concerned about everything above here. This is all IP6 stuff, and we're not worried about that. We're worried about IP4. And you see that we have the local machine here. This is the loopback address right there for this machine. So this is the machine's internal network. This has nothing to do with the router or the internet. This is just the internal machine. If I wanted to add more machines to this list, I could just do it. I could just do 192.168.0.16, and then I could go here and put in the name of that machine, right? And I could just list every other machine on the network. When you go to access anything on the internet or anything on your local network, this is the first place that the system looks, is the hosts file. Most people do not use this today. This is very old school. And as a matter of fact, way back in the early days of the internet, we're talking like DARPANET days, this was how a system knew what machines it could talk to. You would have to put them in the hosts file. That's how old this concept is. So there was no dynamic name server or anything. It would be like if you wanted to log into Cornell University's computer, for instance, then you would set this up with a static IP address of some sort or some way to get to it, and then you would put in Cornell for the name, and then you'd be able to get to that computer. Crazy, huh? It's insane. That's exactly how it used to work. But this is a bit of a pain, and it kind of assumes that your network is never going to change, because once you pull a machine out or you change the name of a machine or whatever, you have to go through and you have to edit this file on every machine. That's kind of silly, isn't it? So that's why I don't use this. This is why we don't do it this way. So let me go ahead and get out of here, and we'll do that. Just to kind of show how that works, let's log into ourselves using the name of the machine here, right? Let's put a G in there. It helps. If we don't spell this right, it's not going to get it. Now, because this machine is listed in the hosts file, we can loop back into it real easy. There, I am now logged into the machine that I am using to record this video. And it never went out on the network at all. It's just all done locally. Just to show you how that's supposed to work when you have that stuff in hosts. So that didn't work out very well. I tried that actually when I was configuring all this stuff, and then I came upon this idea that I would simply write a little stub of a script, and that stub of a script would have a way that I would just be able to type in the last 2 digits or 3 digits of the IP address, depending on how many we had. And that is SSHN. So let me go ahead and show you that. And we're going to do nano, and we're going to do bin. This is my local bin. And we're going to do SSHN, just like that. And this is it. That's all there is to it. I'm like, what? That's what all the fuss is about? Yep, that's it. So this part up here just explains what it does in some general detail. And then down here, this is the actual command. So if I type in SSHN, this is the command that actually runs. And what it does is it fires off SSH, and I'm using X forwarding on SSH, which allows me to run some graphic applications through X. I'll show you how that works here in a second. And then it fills in the IP address and the first argument after SSH. So this would be the first thing that you would type in after SSH. And in this case, all I have to put in is the last 2 digits, or if there are 3 digits, of the machine that's on the network. Now, in my case, since they're all static, they'll always be 2 digits, and But it would even work if you had DHCP and you had some way of knowing the address. So let's go ahead and get out of here. And yes, I will put this in the description of the video. You can go get that exact stuff and make it work. So let's do it. So SSHN, and this time we'll go into a machine in the back room. We'll do 14. There we go. We're in the machine. So it makes it super easy to switch from machine to machine. So for this, change it to 16. I'm in this other machine here. Boom, I'm logged in. Now, as far as X forwarding is concerned, that allows me to run applications that are graphical through the connection that I have with that machine. Now, this doesn't work with applications that need hardware acceleration, so you can't do like web browsers and video viewers and things like that. But let's do one that I do all the time just to check on the hard drives, is GNOME disks. So grab that. Now this takes a little while to load through a network because the application is running on the machine over there, but it's sending the telemetry through the network to tell this machine how to draw on the screen what it is that we are wanting to look at here. So yeah, this does take a few seconds to actually get itself going through the network. Hence, this is why you should never do this with machines that require any hardware acceleration. Simply because it would take forever. And it is really taking its sweet time because I'm recording a video and because I'm sitting here waiting for this to happen and can't do anything else until it shows up on the screen. No, it doesn't ordinarily take this long. Why it's taking this long, I don't know. There it is. It finally got here. Okay. So if you're a little bit patient, this is a very powerful tool because you can run a graphic application like this and check on the health of the disk drive on that other machine. See, it's fine, no problem. And that's basically it. So while I'm here, I can update the machine if I had to. I can do all kinds of stuff. So the next one that I want to show you is the same sort of kind of little command, and this uses a program called SFTP. So SFTP is also usually installed by default. I know it's here on Ubuntu and Linux Mint, but other distributions I'm not really sure because this is kind of a really old school tool. And we're going to log into 192.168.0.16, and this is how I have to use it on the local network. Alright, and now I'm in there. And what does this program do? Well, it allows me to transfer files back and forth. We're going to take a look at that, exactly how it works in just a little bit. Right now, I'm going to get out of it. You can type exit if you like, but this is very old school, and it will actually take bye. So there you go. And I know you're not quite sure what that just did, but I will show you. Nano. And we're going to do bin once again. And we're going to take a look at SFTPN. Same deal. As before, this just allows me to use a shortcut. I will put this in the description as well. If you copy and paste this and then make a little script out of it and make your files executable, if you have the same setup that I do, it'll work. Okay, so let me get out of here. No, I don't want to actually change it even though I'd hit the Q by accident. Alright, so let me show you how this beautiful little program works. And First, what we need to do is jump into a machine. This is really useful for getting into other people's accounts and grabbing files that you need, or adding files that you need to add. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use SSH, and we're going to do sendy at 192.168.0.14. I am going to log into another account, which is not mine. And this time I have to use her password because I don't have a key, but I have the password. And what I want to do while I'm in here is I want to touch a file. Let me clear the screen so you guys can see it better. We'll call it sendy file. This is a file that I will have to get, and I'm just going to throw it into her home directory. Boom, there it is. And there's the file. It's sitting there. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Try not to move too fast so you don't get confused. I used standard SSH to get in there. And now we're going to use SFTP to do this. So we'll do SFTP. And we're going to do sendy at 192.168.0.14. Yep. Let's see, connect to, what did I do? No remote to host. Oh, I hit a 0. Couldn't find it. Okay. So now we'll do sendy's password. We're in. And now I can show you what this does. It basically transfers files back and forth. If you've ever used SFTP at a terminal, this is how it works. So if I want to get that file, then I would type in get, and then I would put in the name of the file, which is going to be sendy file, like so. Right? But I want to put it in a certain place locally, so I want to change my directory locally, and we're going to use the command lcd. This is a local change directory, and we're going to change it to work, which is my local directory here. And now I am going to get that file, just like that. And it went and got it. Now, it did not give any status about getting the file because it's essentially an empty file. So let's make sure it's there. I'm going to open up another terminal. And then I am going to cd to work. And we'll list it. That should start a steam locomotive. If you have that program installed, you can mess somebody up doing that. Anyway, you see the file came over. No problem whatsoever. So you can do files like that. You can do directories. So we go back over here to the way we have this configured. Let's see here. Let's grab just an empty directory just to show that we can do it. So we will get, and then because it's a directory, we have to use R, and something empty like public on her public directory shouldn't have anything in it. And it went and grabbed it. And if I switch back over here, NILS once again, you'll see that we have now pulled down that directory called public. If they had files in it, then we would see them transfer. So you can do this with microscopic precision here. So you can go and find files. Let me go ahead and do this. We can just exit out of there. And there are other commands that you can run. I encourage you to go check that out. One of the big uses that I have for this is write SFTP So if I do my own web page here, and I make sure there's not 3 E's there, now I'm into my web page. Now, let me go ahead and clear the screen. So I can list what's there, and you'll see that I have a couple of files in here called scripts. So let's say that I need to grab a script and bring it down to this local machine. And we're going to LCD once again, right? And we're going to go to work. So everything that I pull down here is from work. So let's see. I want to get, and I'm going to get it out of this scripts directory up here. And I've got a file in here called zclean, which is a little script. Let's say that I need to grab that. EAN, like so. There it is. Boom, I got it. Now, on my local machine here, and let's get out of the work directory. Yeah. Well, no, let's create a file here that we would like to put up on this other machine. Show you how easy this is. First, let me verify that I did get the zclean. There it is. It came down. We can also put files or upload to the other machine. So that's super easy to do. So let's take a Cindy file, right? And we're going to put Cindy, and I'm just gonna throw it up on the other machine in the home directory. It went up, and it's on this local machine. So let's ls, and now you see that we have Cindy file. I believe that I can even RM files through this. Let's see if I can do it. Yes. So it gives you kind of a small environment. You can play with files. You can move them up and down. You can do full directories. So let's go ahead and go back here, and we go back one more. Let's do put R for recursive, and then we're going to put a directory up here called public, which we just pulled off of Cindy's machine. There's nothing in it. Boom, it's there. It created that directory on actually my web server up there. And I use this all the time when working on people's machines, because then I will just go and grab it and pull it off of my web server. Now for my web server, I do have DNS set up, so that's how I was able to access it using let's see if I can go ahead and remove. I don't really want to leave that up on the web server. Invalid flag. I mean, it's not going to let me do that, is it? No, it's not going to let me use a recursive call. Let me see if we can use how do you remove a directory? It's it's been so long since I've done it, I forgot how to do it. That's crazy. RMDR, I think that's what we do. Let's see, public invalid command. RMDR. Well, I'll go ahead and get out of here then. Well, it's make directory, right? So I'm in here. I'm now in the web machine. Let's list it again. So I want to get rid of public. That's usually the way I do it, but there is a command to remove a directory. Right? This is interesting. Hold on, I got to figure this out. Oh, it's make dir. That's what I'm doing wrong. So let's make a directory, and we'll call it junk. Okay, so this is rm dir. Now, remove directory, this is an old command. It only works if the directory is empty. If it's not, it doesn't. It will come back and say it can't remove it, which makes it really useful because you can actually remove a whole bunch of stuff this way if you want to. Let's see what we got here. Right, okay, so we're back to where we should be. Go ahead and get out of this machine. That was interesting. I had a little senior moment there trying to remember how to make and remove directories. You get the point. Using the SFTP program is super simple and easy, and we were just doing it with little bitty files and doing it on different machines, but it can actually move big chunks of data and it will automatically reconnect. A lot of people use something like Secure Copy, which is SCP. You can do that too. You can also use rsync with SSH, but I just like having this old school way of doing things. It's very familiar to me and it makes me happy. So once again, let's do that again. RMDIR, so I don't forget it, public. Now I'm on my local machine here, so okay, we can also get rid of zclean. We don't need that. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you got something out of it, and I actually made it clear instead of confusing you more. We can also get rid of Cindy file, can't we? rm Cindy file. Actually, what we need to do is sshn 2. We need to go get rid of that on Cindy's machine, or she's going to ask me where that came from. Okay, well, let's do it out of. Let's get out of this one, and let's just. We'll just go ahead and do this. And we are permission denied. Please try again. Why is my permission being denied? Oh, you know why the permission is being denied? I will tell you why. Because that account doesn't exist on that machine. I was logging into the wrong machine. Okay, now that we're here, let's get rid of this file, and that way Cindy will never know we were goofing around in her stuff here. All right, now exit. No, Cindy does not have an account on the machine called Studio. That's my machine. That's what the problem was. Anyway, I hope you found this video entertaining, especially me poking around at the end and getting confused on what machine I was on and everything. And the code for the SSHN and the SFTPN is in the description, along with a link to a very lengthy video talking about setting up SSH that Jeremy O'Connell and I posted years ago when we were doing a series called Mr. Desktop and Mr. Server. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching, boys and girls. Comments, suggestions, always welcome. Even feel free to make fun of my terrible typing. It used to bother me, now it doesn't. It's all engagement, baby. Everything you type down in there makes the algorithm happier, and it shares more videos with YouTube. So knock yourself out. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for watching.